Welcome everybody to the third episode of the series of episodes of the ROcommunity podcast. Today I have two very, very, very special guests. We got the owner of the recently retired TNX, a Row Wrestling legend of his own, multi-time world
Hey,
champion. We got Sonicxman. Introduce yourself.
hey, I'm Sonic Calloway. I'm better than HubHelms. Maybe. I don't know.
And the person right
Yeah.
next to him is the best at being the best, the Hurricane, whatever you know him as. You got Hub Helms. How you doing today,
Yeah,
Hub?
Lon is not better than me. I just want to throw that out there. Don't listen to this dude. He's a liar.
Throughout the
I
show,
whooped his ass so many times.
throughout the show, it's gonna be a dick measuring contest to see who's the better person.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
Bad
so
balance
before we get into the topics and everything, just give a little background on the both of you. Any of you guys can start.
You go first.
Okay, I'll go first. Alright, so if you don't know me, now you know. Okay, you don't know after I say this. But anyways, I'm Sonic Calloway. I own TNX, little Fed that ran from 2012 to 2017. Recently had a tour. Tour was pretty nice for the what shows it was, and then I kind of ended it because people are fickle. Then a little bit about my wrestling career. So your boy started in 2008. What, 9 years old, 8 years old? I don't know, some sort of shit like that. So I started then, got my name in some young guys feds. Saw what a clean tour looked like for the first time. Thought it was weird, so I really didn't use that. I used matrix moves and free models. And then fast forward a little bit, I go to RWU back in like '09, or sometimes in like 2011. And then I stumbled across a little fed called VCW. I'm like, let me go in and get in this fed real quick. So I got in that fed and went in there, and it was great. I got my first world title in there, and then I went to OPW by rated X118Z, aka Yo 118Z. I'm a fucking idiot. Anyways, he let me debut. I debuted it after a couple shows. I debuted the rap gimmick, and I beat John Y2J at Pin or B Pin in 2012 November and then win my second major world championship, the Blocks Heavyweight Championship in OPW. And then after that, went on a tear for like 6-7 months, held the title, defended a lot. Then I won an OPW championship, but in that time, I won a WRW championship owned by Josh Daniel Rose, aka Select Mafia. Great dude. Really cool guy. I saw him a couple days ago. Won WRW Undisputed Championship from Cena 54 John. World Heavyweight from Herman 01. Great guy. Legend in his own right. Then OPW. Back to OPW. Beat PK. RG Phoenix 17. My builder, my staff member. Also a legend. Very forgotten nowadays. People only remember him from building. I beat him. No one contendership for OPW title. Won that. And then after that, shit, won a lot of minor feds. Zudas's fed, I think VRW, I believe.
VHW.
VHW, yeah. VHW. Nita Head's fed. I won an undisputed title in that. Won both world heavyweight world title in that. Ken Rollins is fed. I think that was a ERWG. Won a world heavyweight championship, tag championship. It was Triple Crown, a couple feds, and then RWU happened.
Oh yes.
Won the world title in that 2 or 3 times. And then my longest reign was 2015, 6-month reign. Had a program with a man called HubHelms, but HubHelms and I went way back because back in CCW, shout out to Raymundo, shout out to TFA, the Fallen Angel 12. We had a series of awards in CCW over the World Heavyweight Championship. That's what I got to know the dude. And I actually friended him on Facebook in that time period. And I remember he whooped my ass one title defense. And then I was ranting to him on Facebook about it. And then the next thing, I whooped his ass and he whooped my ass. And I don't know who won that feud. It's kind of forgotten in time because we didn't have reporters back then. But we had wars then, and then I guess we cooled down that feud. And then I guess, Undead Brock, my feud Undead Brock, that's a legendary in its own right, along with HubHelms feud. But, I won World Titles at EPW. It's just a lot of stuff I won, and then on my Fed hosting TNX and all that. And you guys already know about TNX because that's what I'm most known for nowadays. But, I hosted TNX, always want to give back to the community, and, I like the crop of guys that I brought up, and, some of them are still wrestling today. And, I just want to, I brought it back as a tour because, at the end of the day, I believe in giving back to something that started your whole thing. And, I like to think in world wrestling because it taught me how to be a better man, taught me how to own something, which I'm using today because I'm a vice president of a fraternity right now in real life, just to open up a little bit on my personal life. I use that owning stuff and all of that, and I guess people see I'm a leader somewhat. So, I became, a vice president and all that. So, that's how world wrestling influenced me and made me a better person. So I have nothing to thank for that. None but the world to thank for that. So, that's me. That's Sonicxman. That's Sonic Cowboy the Rat. Piece of crap. Heel. I don't know. Whatever you want to call me. But yeah, that's basically my career wrapped up in 12 years I've been in this community.
So essentially what you're saying here is that, when the old feds were there, you pretty much like utilized it by winning every world title there was up until the point where the RW thing happened, and from here on, yeah.
Oh, my bad if I cut you off, but
no, it's fine.
Yeah. I mean, basically, in the old Fed, I just, I went to a Fed. First off, I paid my dues. I made sure I stayed until the end of the federation, stayed through the whole show. So I usually started. When I got bigger, obviously they hold me into the world title picture. But when I first started, I won Intercontinental, U.S. tag, and then I eventually went to the world title. That was my prime really ended. Really, I'd probably say beginning of 2016 after I had that little program with RCC. I like to think my prime really ended then because I wasn't really winning much world titles then. I think I came back to VCW for a second, won the TV championship, elevated that for a little bit. Well, that was like my third reign at that point in time in 2016. But yeah, that's basically what happened, man.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
What about you, Hub? What's your background?
So I'm Hub. Most people probably know me just from Row Wrestling, not really Fed owning, even though I did own a Fed at one point. But I joined the website in 2010. I was 10 years old, and I was a huge wrestling fan. And at first, I didn't even know what Row Wrestling was. I think the first game I played was some bowling game or whatever. But eventually, I went to SVR 2011 by Tyler Flynn, which is I'm sure everybody knows what that is.
At least the OGs know what it is.
Yeah, all the OGs know what that game is. And then I got recruited by this dude named Tyler Shane to join his Fed. And I went there and fought for it was just some bullshit Fed. And then eventually I found my way in this Fed called WEW by a guy named Dayron Michaels, who Cena 54, that's where I met Cena 54 John in 2010. And obviously I still know Cena to this day. So and after that, just a bunch of it's really hard to remember a lot of stuff from early on because it's so long ago. But so WW then get into this Fed by Hockey Hero 123, who I still keep in touch with today. I don't remember what the Fed was called, but I know it had some big ass rings. And then I went just a bunch of smaller Feds. got into this Fed called. It was actually funny. It's called RCW, but it's not the one by kids. It was one earlier on.
Yeah.
By a guy named Fabio Jr. I'm sure nobody knows who that is.
Fabio Jr.
Yeah.
I think I heard of that name before. Yeah.
Oh. And then eventually I found my way into RXW, which was Yo118Z's Fed before he owned OPW, and I think from like 2010 to 2013 I was like right. Hey, you're right, PTG. But like 2010 from 2013 was like I was kind of like mid card, and then finally after OPW, or during OPW, I joined WRW by Josh Daniel Rose, who is, like Lonnie said, he's a really good guy. And that's when I won my first major title, and I just continued working my way through WRW, like OPW, and then once OPW ended, joined RWU, and obviously all the events that transpired when I was there. And of course, CCW was another big Fed I was in. And then, of course, TNX, which I think is really what brought me in my prime. I had that crazy 2000 year during 2015 when I must have lost like a single match that whole year. It was crazy. And yeah, just TNX and RW really the last two Feds that I spent a lot of time in. And then towards the end, like 2016, 2017, I had like one-off appearances at UKW and stuff, and then I hosted UKW Mania, and then that was it. I called it a career.
All right. So pretty much once again, you guys are very decorated, obviously, because you've been here longer than pretty much everybody, including myself. So that by itself is just mind blowing. And yeah, so obviously, after the whole RW situation, and after pretty much after 2016, you guys just kind of laid low after a while. That's where you're like, this is the point you're getting to, right?
RW, that's when I opened up my own Fed called PWH. I know a lot of people, some people might know what that is. It was a Fed I probably ran it for 6 months, and then I kind of ran it as a way to get back at RCC because I ran it at the same time as his Saturday show. So it was kind of like a little Fed battle that I made just because I kind of wanted to spite him.
And as soon as RW ended, I guess you ended PWH as well.
Kind of. I mean, not really, because I think I ended it before RW ended, but
still got really high numbers though. PWH I think was top 5 at the time as well when you were running it.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big. I don't mean to suck my dick, but I was a big name, so it kind of makes sense that people show up for the clout.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, let's get on into our next question. So, well, let's talk about pretty much the interesting altercations that Lonnie has been having on on Twitter, on the game and everywhere, especially the recent TNX run that a lot of people were looking forward to, but you ended it out of nowhere as well. So, yeah.
Well, a lot of people can say that they're looking forward to it, but the numbers don't lie. Just like Scott Steiner said back at Sacrifice. But yeah, I mean, it was doing good. I mean, during December, we ran some shows with good numbers. The first Fed back, we had 50 out of 50 in 2 or 3 minutes, something like that, some crazy shit. But I don't know, man. Just the number, I saw the interest. The interest was there on Twitter, but when it came to the shows and I opened up more show times and all that, I didn't see the numbers I wanted to see, and I didn't see the enthusiasm I wanted to see. Because I feel like after the championships got handed off to its champion holders, people started saying, they're like, well, shit, I don't want to come back, so they just dip. Which is I guess it's just, in a way, it's the culture nowadays. It's I guess people are fickle. People have ADHD.
Why do you say that people? Why do you say people are fickle though? Why do you think that people are indeed fickle, and they're I guess they're complacent, according to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, there's a lot of good things about this new generation, but there's a lot of bad things too. And you know, in every generation, there's always good things and bad things. I mean, I think people are fickle today because, like, you know, at the end of the day, man, TNX is still like an old fed. You know, they didn't grow with TNX, so like, why would they have the loyalty and appreciation for it? I mean, it was a lot of likes on Twitter when I first reintroduced the TNX tour and all that, but you know, they want to go to their APRWs, they want to go to their other feds because that's what they grew up with, and that's what they fuck with, and that's fine. But I mean, the thing is, people can be fickle because like they want something, but when something comes back, their interest just like dies off and they just don't go. It's the same thing with VCW. I had talked with Cena about it too, that people were clamoring for VCW. They were harassing them, just like they're harassing me about TNX. They're harassing Cena about VCW, and guess what? He brought it back. He brought it back with great valor. He had a brand new arena, brand new titles, everything, whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
And, the ratings for that was not good.
And there was,
it was poor.
He did say, like, in
So,
the previous interview as well, like, sorry to cut you off, but like the interview before this, he told me that he brought it back just because he wanted to like achieve a goal, which was to hit a 100-player server, and like he didn't manage to do that. He felt like it was underappreciated compared to like its previous run, so he ended up like just concluding VCW again after the Winter Slam pay-per-view. Is that a similar thing that happened with TNX as well, but like at a much shorter time span?
Yeah, I mean, because I already learned how what happened to VCW. I was like, shoot, I'm not gonna go through that same thing because I'm a college student too, man. I'm not gonna sacrifice my time. Like I told people at the beginning of the tour, I said, what you guys put into this tour is what I'm gonna give y'all. If you guys work your ass off and really show up to the tour, shit, I'm gonna have a problem sacrificing some time and hosting the federation because you guys want it, and guess what? I'll give it to you. But it's on equal energy. If your energy is just not really looking forward to it, and there are some people that really loved it and really went to it, but I'm talking about the people that clamored for it, but then they made excuses that they couldn't come, and I see them in the gyms and all of that. But like moving away from that a little bit, like for Cena, I went to some of the shows. I couldn't go to every single one because like I was busy with college, but I tried to go to some of the shows, watch it for a couple of minutes, like 10, 20 minutes before dipping out. But I mean, the ratings wasn't all there, but Cena did what he had to do, and he made the best of it. And I'm proud of him for that. I give him all the respect in the world for that, because not everybody could handle that. Not everybody could withstand that. I know that for sure.
Yeah, and the fact they kept it for so long until Winter Slam, that was just that's worth applause by itself. Considering that he was very underwhelmed by the attendance and everything.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, yeah, it's just because people are unappreciative nowadays. I mean, people are always unappreciative. That's just how, like, people that show up to a Fed are. I had to learn the hard way. Like when I was running PWH, like when you go to a Fed just to wrestle, like you don't really think about it. You don't pay attention to like what everybody's saying. But when you're actually running a Fed and you see people, like you have people messaging you and like contacting you on every type of social platform that they can to get a hold of you, and always complaining and always having some negative idea. And I mean, everybody knows you can't please everybody, but especially when you run like this big ass Fed or whatever that gets 50 out of 50, and people are losing and people aren't getting their way, they're going to be upset with you. And like we were talking about earlier today, like when you talk about the people that are hated the most of the time, like people that are on the list are Fed owners, because no matter who you ask, like everybody is gonna have like some sort of negative opinion about a Fed owner. Like I know that everybody doesn't like kids. I know that everybody doesn't like Lonnie, or everybody doesn't like Ken, or all those people. Like everybody has their own opinion about them based on their own experiences, and that's just because you can't make everybody happy, because not everybody can win at the end of the day. Like somebody has to lose, so somebody's gonna be upset.
Yeah, you can't please anybody, and especially in pro wrestling, because a lot of times, when you get caught up with like wrestling in real life is it's scripted. It's fixed. You got winners and you get your losers. So in pro wrestling, it's not scripted. Like the only thing that can probably be scripted is the segments or the promos leading up to a match. The match itself, it's completely the whole thing. So as well, like
Yeah.
yeah.
And you don't get paid either, so you...
Yeah, I mean,
like,
some feds do
back
pay,
in
but
the
like,
day,
yeah, I
like-
get your point.
Oh, yeah, but, like, you're not, what, you're gonna buy a damn candy bar with,
Yeah, you can.
100 Robux? Like, you're not gonna buy... That's not doing anything for me. It's not worth my time to sit there for 3 hours at a show and, I mean, now I multitask. Well, I don't go to feds anymore, but if I still would, I would just multitask now. But back in the day, I didn't multitask. So I would just stay at a show for like 2 or 3 hours and waste my time. But knowing me, I would win because come on, I never lose. Let's be serious.
Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, people mad because they waste their time sitting there and just to lose. It's just...
That's on them,
Yeah,
in
how
my
it
opinion.
goes.
That's just like poor time management. When you get pissed off and like you wait 2 hours just to lose, that's probably because you wasted your time and you realize you wasted your time, but you can't take it out on yourself. I've been a victim of that, and that's completely fine. But
so they take it out on the Fed owner. 200 IQ right there.
they take it out on the Fed owner. They take it out on their opponent if their opponent was cheap or disrespectful.
That's what they used to, back in the day. That was always the excuse. It was always like whenever dudes used to lose back in the day, it was always the Fed owner's fault or lag. It was either Fed owner or lag. That was like the go. For some reason, when people would get whooped, they would just blame it on the Fed owner. I have no idea why.
Yeah,
I mean,
they lose like a street fight in real life, and then they just blame the Fed owner for no reason at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be like that, man. I mean, I guess I don't know. It's when you really start like Fed hosting all that, and you go to a Fed. I mean, I guess it's a different type of thing because when you're a Fed owner, you do like a bunch of storylines and all that. I was talking with Carbon about this earlier, just like fucking couple minutes before we went on. Like I go to Feds randomly sometimes. I just pop in for like a couple of minutes and watch the Fed. I just want to watch, see if like any storyline going on. I ask who's the current champions. I try to get immersed in it because I love professional wrestling. I think it's magical and I think it's amazing. So
It's definitely
I
an
go
art.
in there. I'm like, yeah. It's definitely an art form, and it's super hard. And I respect every wrestler that wrestles in professional wrestling. But like, I look at it from a view like, well, I mean, can I commentate? Can I get into the commentate? Can I understand what's going on in the ring? Can I understand the product they're trying to give me? I'm trying to view it from like the host perspective because they want attendance. That's the main thing as a host. You want attendance. You want people coming in because you work so hard building up to the federation. You work so very, very hard on it, and you don't want you to work like day in and day out, spending like countless nights trying to get things right. But when the showtime comes, it's like 20 people in there saying, "Hey," just 20 people in there just wrestling, which is good if you're a short Fed, if you're like a small Fed, but if you're like a bigger Fed, you don't see that because it's just kind of like, That's my 2 cents on like staying. That's why I like people staying and really appreciating what the host has done.
Would you think that because maybe Fed owners like obviously the blame is on the people who waste their times waiting for their matches and they end up losing, but don't you think Fed owners also play a part in like kind of pampering the people that attend their shows? Like they try to make it as easy as possible for them.
What do you mean, like make it easy as possible, like when they attend the show?
Like, how do I say this? Like, for example, they ban like stuff that that gets in their way. They mute the crowd when 2 people are fighting. They now have this D-Lag that pretty much removes everything except the ring. And recently we got the FPS unlocker apparently by
That's so stupid.
that was said by APRW. Now look,
It's so stupid.
I did an interview with Ken and Damon and everything, and like I respect Ken, but I'm not sure about that FPS decision though. What do you guys think of it though?
I'll tell you exactly why it's dumb. I'll tell you why it's dumb. Because the Roblox developers are already trying to increase the FPS limit. So it's gonna be pointless in like by the end of the year when the FSD per second. Wait, you just banned it for? Is it? It's like a script. He has like a script that makes it that locks you at 60 FPS, right? That's what it is. And
Yeah.
he has like a script in, doesn't he? That's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's just stupid. I don't understand what, because I'd say you have a better advantage if you have worse Wi-Fi than if you have a better computer. That's always how it's been. Like no matter what. Like I don't have a problem with like Ken Rollins, but like back in the day, this dude had the worst connection ever, and he used to whip my ass because he'd hit me from across the ring. And like I don't know, back then like dude, they didn't really call reach that much unless it was like ridiculous, but it wasn't ridiculous enough to get called. But you could tell like he's hitting you from far away.
Yeah.
But you know, Lonnie's dumbass isn't gonna call. I'm just playing.
Yeah.
But you know, just stuff like that. Like usually, like okay, no offense to you, Carbon. You got a VPN.
Yeah.
I know that you have to use it. I know that you have to use it. So I'm not knocking you for that. But like, are you not notorious for having like reach?
Yeah. No. Ever since I got the VPN, I've been like 10 times better than I was.
And like
before.
I said, it's not necessarily your fault. Like you got to use a VPN. I'm sure you use the most like efficient server, but still like it doesn't give you an unfair advantage. I mean, I'm not going to go as far as to say that, but I'm sure it is like a little bit of an advantage because you're using a VPN, and like Roblox's lag compensation is god awful. It's like fucking Black Ops 4. Like
Well,
what
like,
people see on their screen is different from what other people see on their screen.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, it's gonna go in favor of the guy that has the worst connection. You know.
That's true. I mean, like the thing.
I'm not trying to knock you. I know.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Like no offense taken. People have said much worse things, believe it or not. But like with the VPN thing, the thing is like before that was.
Omar, get off that VPN.
Oh shit! Am I lagging out with the VPN? The irony.
No, you're good.
Yeah. So pretty much like before the VPN, I was doing pretty good as well, and I was winning world titles as well. But like I can say now that like with the VPN and with the whole complications of the weird Wi-Fi, like I have gotten away with so many things I would not get away with with the VPN. That's for sure.
Like you with the VPN is far more greater than like me with an FPS unlocker. You know, FPS unlocker is not going to do the same damage that like somebody with worse connection has.
Yeah.
So and like I said, they're working on raising the cap limits, so it's gonna. But you know, I don't really like pandering to people that are like worse off. Because like it's competitive. Like imagine if like I don't know, like an esports tournament or whatever that they did online, like and place in a cap limit. Like that sounds kind of dumb when you say it like that. And even though this isn't really an esport, it's still the same idea.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. I think that FPS unlocker quote unquote ban is probably not gonna last by the end of the year because the cap limit will be raised.
But like isn't yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm giving it a month tops before it gets reversed because there's a lot of community backlash from it from what I've seen on little Twitter. But I mean, the thing is, it's just a thing of somebody probably higher up, someone that got locked out, probably complaining in the call one day about FPS and all that, saying, "Oh yeah, I'm losing." Dude has like 400 FPS in the game, which is not possible. But anyway, it's an example.
False. I get 350 SMD.
but some higher up person said that he was like, "Shit, well, I don't want to lose my top draw, so let me go ahead and make this rule real quick so he can stay in there."
You think that's what happened?
About it. It may have. I mean, shit, I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, that can happen if you don't want your top draw to like walk out or stage a little coup, and then they have their little clique, and their clique is gonna walk out too. It's the thing about it, man. When you're a Fed owner, sometimes Fed owners they got to make decisions and let stuff pass by so they can keep their ratings and keep the quota and keep the clout raised up.
Also, like, how many people like? It's such like a niche thing because I guarantee, like, I mean, I have a 144 hertz monitor, but how many other people actually have a 144 hertz monitor? Like, I feel like there's only a couple of dudes in the community that are even able to get more than 60 frames per second.
Yeah, you'll notice the people who like are on the top or like who are yeah, the people who are on the top, they either have gaming PCs, or they have really terrible Wi-Fi's. It's either of the two, really,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So like if you're gonna do like if you're gonna try and limit people with like high-end computers, then like what are you gonna do? Like what are you gonna do about people that have trash ass Wi-Fi? Like there's not a way to like put like rules in place for that. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm sure Ken's a smart guy. I think that was just a bad decision.
Yeah. Well, once again, it's not even about like the rules they set or anything. I just think in general that a lot of times that people have complained too much to the point where Fed owners have nothing better to do other than, well, not nothing better, but like they have no other option other than to comply to their needs. You know what I mean? So the people's like, oh no,
Yeah.
people are spamming way too much, even though there's like a 5-message spam limit, so you can't really spam anymore. But and then so the Fed owner proceeds to mute the crowd. The guy saying the opponent is saying there's too much fees from this guy, so he's gonna record the entire thing, and then he's gonna stop like mid-match. He's gonna like go back to his recording and just like see if there was reach or not, and that just ruins the fun of the match. Like being so technical about a match does not, like, in my opinion, it takes the fun out of anything. Like take for example, yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, like to carry on, like you're spot on that shit. Like I think hosts need to be hosts and not let the little wrestlers dictate what they need to do because they're the hosts.
Yeah.
The wrestlers are wrestling for them, so they need the hosts need to be in charge, not let the wrestlers order them around. That's what you gotta do as a host. You can't be everybody's friend. You can't please everybody. Some people are gonna be angry. Okay, if they walk, they walk. But you have to not be scared. Yeah, if they do walk, you don't have a backup plan.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, like it's too late to like for Fed owners to like go back to the way it was, where they didn't like really where they just said fuck you to like to the people that were fighting. It's like just to deal with it by yourself. But once again, I think one of the issues, like as you said, that people have become fickle or inappreciative is because they're pretty much everything that they like face is it's settled, so they don't really appreciate what's in front of them, and that's fine. Like that's not just for pro wrestling. It's just like in general, when you get given too much candy, you're not gonna appreciate candy anymore. Candy's probably the worst example I could use, but yeah, that's the first thing that came to my head.
Yeah.
So you were lagging out there in that. All I heard was candy.
It's okay, we'll manage to pull this through. Alright, so yeah, on to the next question. So, talk about the landscape of like the competition and just a comparison of like now compared to how it was before. Like how competitive was it before?
The most controversial question. I'll probably have Twitter lighten one of us up. Most likely me, because I'm hated. But the question of past versus present / future. But if you want to take this first, you can. I can take it first.
I can go first. I'd say like, so it just depends what you mean when you say like past versus, like, are you asking
Competition.
is it more competitive now? Like, is it harder now, harder back then? Because
the landscape
I can't give you an answer on that. It's pretty hard to, because it's just a result of like the conditions during that time. And like you look at like 2010, like there wasn't like mouse lock wasn't a thing yet, so we were just fighting with WASD, which is a terrible fighting style. And looking back on it, it's stupid because you're just walking towards them and just praying.
Yeah.
But now you get like mouse lock and stuff, which is obviously far better, and it's you actually have to kind of have some sort of game plan of how you want to use it and what you want to do. But you have to look at it this way. So like from like 2010 to 2012, like me, Lonnie, and Brock were like mid-carders. Then we take over in like 2013, 2014 and start to go up there to the top. Then in 2016 around, like you have like Eddie, Damon, and Seiji who are now take the place of the mid card, and now you look at them now, and it's now they're up at the top, similar to how we came from mid card and worked our way to the top. So it's just really just a cycle, and like it's like when you ask for like any actual professional sport, when you try and compare past versus present,
Yeah.
like it's just hard to say because things change over time, like, and Roblox's lag compensation gets worse over time, so you have to start trying to predict things that are going to happen in a match, like if you're going to get hit or not. And you have all these different tactics that are around now that weren't really around when like me and Lonnie still were active. So people are going to get better over time naturally, like how people in basketball have gotten better over time and people have gotten more athletic. So like I said, it's really just a result of the times. And I'm sure if I stayed active and was able to evolve with new tactics and new ideas, then I probably could have like remained at the top. But like people like Brock and Cena, it's impressive that they're able to stay around and still be relevant. But yeah, people are gonna get better over time. So it's just how it goes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's definitely right. I mean, what Hub said, that's pretty right, man. It's different. It's evolution, man. And, you know, people evolve over time, and you know, back in our day, you know, we had still WSD and all that, and then when Mouse Lock dropped, when they finally released Mouse Lock, you know, the WSDers got their asses beaten. Like, they were jobbing at that point. Like, it was bad. And then we developed mouse locking strategies like 2014. It was 2013, 2015. We were just developing strategies. And, you know, nowadays, you can come with someone like, you know, Aiden Killer can come with someone freaking destroy like 90%. Like, it's a fighting game. He endless juggling you. Like, he hits you once and it's 90 off your health. You have 10% left. It's crazy, bro. Like, nowadays people they come to you, they turn their mouses to be up, move their freaking mouse, your health is gone.
Yeah.
So that's how it's evolved nowadays. You know, it can be crazy to watch because hey, they need to get that chair smell check or something. But they be going hard, man, and it's crazy because, you know, just a couple of years ago, shit, it wasn't even like that. I mean, I can only assume like once back in my time. I swung like once or twice, and then that's how I dealt a lot of damage and won the matches. But you know, nowadays people, yeah, I do that sometimes when pro wrestlers follow me to games like AEW. Shout out to Dylan Brown. When I go to those type of games and wrestle, they're like, ugh, you got 2015 wrestling style. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This I've been doing this the whole time. And they just start like nitpicking on me, man. It makes me sad. It makes me feel old. And then they come in the ring and they freaking swing around and they destroyed the town. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just join a new server then. But
get kicked out.
It's just evolution, man. But like, what your original question was, you know, how would the past people fare in this current climate? I mean, you got that question answered really with Brock and Cena. You know, Brock's not too, you know, recently, you know, he beat Damon like a couple months ago for like the world title. So, you know, Brock is from our era. He can still go. You know, you just gotta adapt. You just gotta train. You know, you gotta train. You know, I don't like training, but you gotta practice in the gym and understand what these new kids are doing, and then that's how you adapt. You know, Cena's doing the same thing too. Cena's won the world title too. So
yeah,
that's how it be, man.
Shout out to them for staying so long as well. You know, for to stay this long and still remain like a household name in like multiple feds, especially the new feds as well. It's like it's pretty impressive by itself. Very few people can do that. Yeah.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, it's hard to make like top 5 lists because you never really like see different generations like face each other. Like kind of like I said earlier, like I don't think I ever faced Eddie or Damon before, so I have no idea what would happen. So it's one of those things that it's a question that will probably remain unanswered unless somebody gives me like 10k Robux.
Then you're just gonna bullshit your way and just like steal the money.
Yep. And I don't show like SDR.
Hell yeah. Well,
Question coming up.
interesting. So if you were like to name your Raw Wrestler of the decade, would it be Brock?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Brock's been there. He's been at the main event scene most consistently, man.
Yeah.
My full name. That's Brock.
And I guess like what we could also say about like what's the difference between like your era and like the current era right now is that there's a lot of social media coverage. How like and obviously, you know, better technology, better posters, better GFX in general. But like how like in both ways it has benefited Raw Wrestling, but in the same time it took a lot of things out of Raw Wrestling. What do you think on that?
I was just gonna say, if you tried to introduce social media to them back then, they like nobody would have went on it.
Yeah.
They would have made if anybody went on Road Twitter. I say Road Twitter, it's just Twitter. If anybody would have made like a Roblox Twitter account for your Raw Wrestling shit, like you would have got made fun of. And I think now there's a lot of things that kind of go unchecked, and a lot of it is due to social media. I mean, I like my Twitter account is kind of like my own personal one as well. Like I've tried to like erase all my Roblox stuff from it, so that's me. But I know other people like they post like when they lose a match and stuff like that. I don't know. It just gets kind of cringy to me. That's why I don't really pay attention to it too much. I just kind of whatever comes to my mind, I just tweet it. That's why. Well, I got some wild stuff. They be losing a match. They lose a match and they post up. They're all angry and stuff. Like nobody cares, man.
It's great. It's crazy. Like you only see it active when there's like a pay-per-view going on. Like you see a lot of people on it. If like something controversial happens as well. Do you think that like the obviously cancel culture is a thing now, and it's basically what's running Twitter. It's happening in Raw Wrestling as well. Is it by any means good? Because it has like helped Raw Wrestling in the past, but at the same time it kind of just like overemphasized situations which could have been settled differently.
Yeah, I think witch trials are never good. They're never
witch trials
never good. I mean, yeah, they're never good, man. They can always be solved privately and DMs and all of that. Like with social media and Raw Wrestling, I wish not social media, but I wish some sort of like recording was done back then for archival purposes, so the younger guys can really figure out what we were doing back then. Cause I guess a lot of younger guys think we were just garbage.
Straight
I
to the
think
point.
they thought we thought we didn't have as much talent. A lot of them do, because a lot of them forget a lot of old wrestlers that were like, they're really good at their primes. Like, shoot, Needlehead was different. Like,
Oh yeah,
bro.
That
man whooped up.
Yeah, people think he's just a troll. That dude, he was good, man.
He whooped up a Prime Brock. Like, he beat him like 3-0. Like, I don't know if it was 3-0, but it was close to 3-0, bro. Like,
shit, yeah, even Tony.
Tony checked.
Yeah, Tony whooped Brock around too.
Yeah, I mean, and Brock was he was actually a big deal back then. They beat him. I had the pleasure of never fighting Needlehead.
Yeah,
I
only once had to fight him either.
But like, I fought Tony before. He was really good. Like it was great. It was great how they whooped up the big guys in that era, and people don't really recognize it anymore. But it's attributed because we didn't really have social media back then. I mean, look, there's some old guys. They don't like social media. And they look at technology and they run away from it.
You notice that now as well. Like most of the the old guys I don't want to say old guys, like the people from the older generations, they they pretty much don't use social media as much, and if they do, it's most like more personal or like for a specific reason compared to
like most of them just have like Discord where we still keep in touch.
Yeah.
It's probably a good thing like they don't have social media, because I know like dudes like Francois would be up on road Twitter just causing havoc.
Yeah. Smooth plan. Yeah.
The best troll of all time.
The greatest troll, man.
The one thing that remained consistent though this entire time was trolling. Like no matter what generation it was, trolling was always just the big thing.
Yeah, and like this may be because like I'm an old head, but now it's just kind of it's just bad now. That's the one thing I'll knock about like modern times is like the troll are terrible. It's not even funny. It's just dudes rolling up and saying the N-word and leaving. Like,
yeah.
how's that funny? I don't understand.
I've been a recipient of that a lot.
Yeah, it's always Talani. they don't fuck with Lonnie.
Here's what I think. I think Lonnie made it clear he hated it, but I don't. But the thing is, like, it's obvious that like any.
Well, yeah, if he guys sit in the back of their classroom at school and get bullied, they want to come and make people laugh, and they want to try and cause like controversy, make people upset, so they come on and drop the hard R.
Yeah,
because it makes their friends laugh for some reason.
I think if you also make it clear online that you have an issue or something, they're gonna like just put it right in front of you and tell you to deal with it.
Yeah, I mean that's why at the end of the day, like there's nothing you can do about policing stuff online. Like you can't just. That's why you just gotta give up when dudes say the N-word and stuff. You just ignore it.
Yeah, I mean they add me too. Like I get like an app every other week about about this dude saying N-word. I look at it and just walk around. I walk around it and I walk away because like sometimes I find it just to rile up the person who's doing it, and then they get mad. And then make big paragraphs about how I'm terrible and like an egotistical fuck. But other than that, I mean, shit, nothing I can do, honestly. I can't just go to your house and beat you up. The responsibility falls on the top guys of this era and how they're cool with it. If people really put aside, like if they said no, don't do that, or like have in like a group of rules, like in the RWA, have stuff like you can't do this, this, and this, or you get banned from RWA Fed. I'm pretty sure people will stop doing it because people like winning their titles.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like nobody really polices stuff anymore. I think certain things are just like accepted, but like I never really understood why you say like some. I guess I don't really like to get political, but like anybody can say like some racist quote, but you say like some transphobic thing, then everybody and their mom comes out, people you haven't talked to in 2 years comes out and hits you with a hammer or something.
It's crazy.
It's just it's a weird type of pyramid that they have on their values.
And on top of that, when they come hard, bro. Like
you get everybody.
Everybody comes at you. The people you don't know existed anymore. They come at you.
You scam somebody. You ain't coming to this Fed.
Oh no.
It just doesn't really. I don't know. It's a weird type of policing that they have.
It's kind of crazy as well, because for ORW as well, because ORW has been I think 3 times now they have done SDR has done the same shit for some reason, and they let him back in just because of the fact that he is a Fed owner and that he did provide opportunities for certain people, and people obviously people did accept change and everything, but it's kind of hypocritical to see someone he scammed the kid, he pretty much rigged a couple of people, and to see him back, and then when someone makes a transphobic tweet on Twitter, he's all of a sudden a villain and he should not be allowed on the surf anymore. It's it's kind of funny,
Yeah, I mean, SDR is a weird guy. He might be one of the top 5 weirdest dudes on the website. And I say that, but I'm not gonna lie. If somebody offered me money to give them a title shot, I'm giving them the damn title shot. I'll give him the damn title if he wants it. I don't care. I'll find a way to fire the guy that holds the title. I don't care. The hell, $60. That's like 3 Little Caesars pizzas, son.
Did he just fucking did he give him 200 something, bro?
Nah, chill. You think he loaded like that? I think he gave him 100. like that.
Bro,
Yeah.
I shoot.
Still, man, I don't care. I don't care if Brock's the champion. I'm telling him to get the hell out of my fed. Shit, $100.
Come on now.
I'm tripping if you think I'm not taking that.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You know, looking back now, I guess you can say that, you know, the whole deal with you know, SDR, he probably did it because he needed, you know, the college funds. What RCC did with the women's class.
Shit, probably needed to buy a girlfriend or something after he got outed for having a fake one.
Shit. Yikes.
Veronica.
This is the part of the podcast where I just press stop and everybody just dips. Oh man.
SDR, man. That's the character right there, man. That's the Joker right there.
Yeah, he the man that thinks the Flash is real and he thinks he's living in the GTA universe for some reason.
All respect to
I don't
him though.
know.
RW was a good fed, you know, before all the controversy.
Was it though?
I mean,
And that's all
I
bias
think-
aside.
I think. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I didn't like it. That's just me.
liked it when Brock, PG, Miz, and I first came in there as Evolution. It was good. It was a nice, promising fed, and I think it had because I don't know, man. Just he kind of changed up. I don't know, man. He started rigging and shit. Started pushing people. Like he started becoming RCC 2.0, and that's not what we wanted.
Because like the thing with like SDR, like because there was a time period because he was like a GM in RW, and he, you know, RCC kept like taking time off, so SDR would come in and host, and he was a good host. Like he did good in RWU. So then he talked to, you know, he said he was gonna open a fed, so everybody started getting excited for it because, you know, he did a really good job in RWU. Then he opens up his own fed, and like I mean, I couldn't get into it. I just didn't like it that much.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia for it, and that's the problem nowadays.
How much you want to bet that if SDR was to come out of nowhere and host a Nowhere W show, how many people would show up for
You
that?
probably get 50,
You get 50 out of 50 is precisely.
probably a full server.
Full server even, yeah. Well, you were speaking about, you know, RW, and, you know, you've obviously talked about the whole situation in the past, but at the same time, you know, looking back at how everything transpired, you know, the whole situation with like RCC and Lonnie, and how you both agreed to walk out on like, I believe the main event of RW Mania, if I'm not mistaken.
Main event.
Yeah, literally the main event. You pulled the like a Brock Lesnar, reverse Brock Lesnar, pretty much. So, looking back at you guys leaving, and looking back at, you know, everything that happened afterwards with PWH being created to, you know, take over RW's time slot, and RCC saying that he's going to take your time slots because he was pissed at the both of you. What do you think of it now, like 4 to 5 years later?
He's childish and I'm follower.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do it again. Shit, I mean, we're treated like dog shit. So he calls it on himself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really regret it, but like obviously looking back, it didn't do anything in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I knew that was gonna happen. Like I knew at the end of the day, like it really wasn't gonna change anything. It was just something fun that kind of happened at the time.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, I would do that again. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. That was a lot of fun.
If you were to do it today, you know, say you were given a similar platform in APRW, and Ken magically turns into RCC for some reason, for no reason at all actually, and pretty much you guys do the same thing. You look to the side, you look right, you look left, you look up, you look down, and then you just leave. What would happen then? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Would it be any different?
I would tell him to unban FPS on Locker, and I'll come back.
One problem at a time.
Twitter would blow up.
Yeah, Twitter probably would blow up.
It will blow up, and Lop will start their own podcast like it was back in the day. On this follower.
Childish and follower.
It would be the same thing, just on a greater scale. Because back then it was Ask FM, but nowadays it's Twitter. So.
Or you can, you know, he can completely diminish the moment and just speed you both zero, and you guys will look like clowns.
Yeah.
That works too. But yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We pretty much, we covered all the questions. You guys have anything pretty much to, address about today's Raw Wrestling that you haven't addressed yet before we get into the Q&A?
Today's Real Wrestling. Shit, man. I mean, we did cover a lot of things about today's Real Wrestling, but I mean, I got some advice for the younger guys. Stay for your shows, man, because they're not gonna be around forever. So you might as well enjoy it while you're there. And because guess what, when it leaves, you're gonna cry about it. You're gonna cry about not not coming back, and you're gonna want it to come back. So don't leave after your match. Don't leave after you get 3-0. Stay there. Look at what the people who are winning. Look at what they're doing, because obviously you lost and you need to work on something. So look at the winners. Look at what the people are doing. And if you're in a low spot and there's someone in the top spot, there's a reason why you're in a low spot and there's a reason why they're in the spot. So why don't you go ahead, take some little mental notes on what their promos are like, what their wrestling's like, and just stay. Get clout. You owners will see that you stayed until the end of the show, unless they're a biased pet owner, but they'll see that you stay until the end of the show, and then they'll start slowly giving you more opportunities. I'm telling you, man. I mean, you gotta stay. I'm telling you, it's beneficial, because that's how it grows up. I stayed and I communicated, network, all that good stuff.
But then again, a lot of them, obviously, I feel that people who are wrestling now are a lot older than what you guys were like back then as well. I think back then we were like 12, 13 years old. We had all the time in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, well, if they're not wrestling, then they're on a Roblox game.
Fair enough.
For the most part, none of them really have anything better to do. I hate to say that, sounds terrible, but
you're probably not wrong though. So it is what it is.
I know, it's kind of unfortunate. I can't believe I really used to stay 3 hours at a show just to watch dudes run around in a circle in the middle of a ring with a soda can.
Oh man,
I really wasted my time.
But like, has Raw Wrestling though, like looking back now, has it helped you like in anything in terms of like dealing with people, or just any interactions, or not really? Because Lonnie brought up an interesting point early on that he's now apparently a president of his fraternity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, vice president, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that's because you were a Fed owner for as long as anyone could remember. So I guess that has helped you.
And it just made me become a better leader and all.
Yeah.
Talk to people, because I had to hunt people down TNX, because some people were doing wrong, so I had to freaking run towards them and DMing them and all. And sometimes I got in shouting arguments to DMs on freaking Twitter, but it's another story from that time. But it's just beneficial, man. I mean, if you run anything in life, it's always good experience.
Yeah, I mean, I don't regret it, because I met some of the best friends that I could ever have on the game. I could go through, Sonic, Tree, Kanan, PK, Herm, Shad 4X, all those guys.
Sonic is blushing in the background as you're speaking right now.
Yeah, he's the only reason I said him first is because he's the first name I saw, so don't feel too happy about it. But shout out to Earth.
Hell yeah.
And I guess any advice that I would give, like, don't take it serious, but still be competitive, because nobody likes to lose. Nobody plays a game just to lose. Like that'd be dumb. But also, when you lose, don't break your damn keyboard, because shit, you kind of need a keyboard to win. Hello, dumb.
Exactly, yeah.
So, yeah, just I don't know, have fun, but still be competitive. That's how I approached it. Except, never mind. But yeah, I got mad like once or twice, but that's a different story.
It's okay. It happens to the worst of us.
Yeah.
I think
I blame it on Lonnie, really.
Yeah.
God damn it, Lonnie.
Yeah. Sorry.
I think what it has helped me with is probably like just interacting better with people and knowing how to deal with like any kind of person in front of me. Like because I met like so many different people. I've met people who are, drug addicts, met people who are just from a completely different country from where I'm from, but I managed to like form this connection where I know how to speak to them because pro wrestling is kind of universal. Everybody's from everywhere, so like it's much easier to communicate.
It's true. It is. That's true.
And yeah, like so a platform like this podcast as well, it helps me a lot, with communication and everything. So at the end of the day, it's what you like, whatever you do, like don't consider it. It is like time wasting in a way because you are playing a game, but try to always like take something out of it. If you're gonna spend your time trolling and making people feel bad about themselves, or you go into Lonnie's server and call him the hard R, then you're probably doing something wrong with your life and you need to like reevaluate yourself. But other than that, just have fun, be competitive, but like have fun, find a middle ground and just do what you want from there.
And make friends.
And make friends.
It helps sitting in a show for 3 hours when you're with
Yo, don't reveal any TNX secrets, please.
Oh
shit.
Yeah. PG stole the group.
Oh shit. No, don't bring it up.
You already knew that. It was an inside job.
Yeah, it was an inside job.
It was meant for you. Did it for the ratings.
Yeah. It was planned the whole time. We did it so TNX got spread around a little bit.
But yeah, let's go to the let's do the Q&A. Let me tag these people. These people have been waiting to do a Q&A as soon as this podcast started. Q&A time. Yo guys, make sure if there's any troll questions, you're gonna get banned on the spot, so use it wisely. Alright, looks like PDG. Oh wait, actually no, someone did have a question already. Yeah, Zane had a question for Sonic. Zane Marks had a question for Sonic. Is there a difference between being a high carder and a main event talent in pro wrestling?
Yeah. High carder is someone that can be used towards the higher card, but main event is like the face, like they're the man or the men of the company. So yeah, it's a difference.
Yeah. What about you, Hub?
Yeah, he gave a good answer pretty much. Sorry, I didn't think you were gonna ask me to. He said for Sonic.
So okay, this is a question from PDG to Hub then in this case. When you go, wait, what? Does this man even know how to type? When you going to come back for a little bit, and Sonic, which new gen do you think has the potential to be on the top? So I guess is PDG's question to Hub is that are you going to come back for a little bit? Like one last
probably not for like a run or anything like that, but maybe a one-off sometime. I'm always open for that. I've gotten offers to do stuff, so we'll have to see what the future holds. Nothing long term though.
All right. And for Sonic, which new gen, since you've been indeed looking at like different federations and like stopping by, which new gen do you think has the potential to possibly make it on the top? Like a name that has not been brought up much yet, but you think they could possibly make it in the future?
Hey Cole, man, he's gonna get it. I think he's gonna get big eventually.
Wait, who?
EJ Cole.
EJ Cole, yeah. Shout out to EJ Cole. There we go. The rat has your back.
I always have his back.
All right, and another question for you guys. Like this is for both of you separately. So, what is your favorite feud on your time here when you were pro wrestling? Your favorite feud that really told a story.
That's a good question. For me, I really like the I think my best promo work came from. I mean, like my biggest feuds are always with Lonnie's dumbass because he was always causing trouble. Like, you had like RWU was really big. That was a big feud. We had 5-star promos every night on the shows, and then you had like the whole corporation storyline when I was always getting beat down by the corporation. So those feuds are really good. Yeah, I think my feuds with Lonnie are my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same exact answer.
Same exact answer? Both?
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, let's see here. I mean, there was the OPW feud with Shadow 4X. Yeah, that was a good ass feud, bro. with Children TV title because we legit hated each other back then. So it was good. It was a good storyline.
Yeah. All right.
I also had a feud with Shadow because he didn't like me at the time. I made fun of Max Nike's dog.
Oh man.
It's a little bit more into that, but anyway, yeah. So he didn't like me. I really like him, so it was a good feud, and we both I won the feud, of course. No surprise there.
Flex a little bit while you're at it.
Always.
Always. All right. Question from Light Lord. Favorite TNX title match? This is to Sonic, I assume. Favorite TNX title match at the final TNX show in 2017.
My favorite TNX title match. I assume that's all the TNX titles that was on the line. I think the main event was really, really good. The fucking I forgot match title. It's my own fucking fed. But anyways,
Wow.
the final match, it'll come to me in a little bit. But that match was great because it was 10 man like super onslaught match. It wasn't an onslaught, but it was a great match because first off, King got eliminated first. Like his dumb self stepped out the ring. He got his ass out of there. And then after that, it was War Games battle. The War Games match, we had non-stop action, and then I think it came down to Ibrooksy, Colastro, and Undead Brock, and then Ibrooksy got clapped, and it came down to Colastro, Undead Brock. Undead Brock was the first TNX champ, and Colastro was kind of like he was a big deal in TNX, so it was very intriguing because it kept trying and all that. It was very intriguing who's gonna win, and then Brock beat him barely. It was like 1 HP in a dream, beat him, and he basically is the first TNX champ, last TNX champ. So it was like a fairy tale ending for Brock, honestly.
All right. So next question from Marlux Giovanna. I hope I said that correctly. How do you guys feel about federations like APRW, CCW, which you both have been to before, and top feds now in the World Wrestling currently, and how? So many questions, dude. Yeah, how what do you think of these feds in World Wrestling currently? And then we're gonna get to the second part of his question. Hello? Oh, okay.
You cut out for a second.
Oh shit. How do you guys feel? How do you guys feel federations like APRW and CCW and top feds now in World Wrestling currently, and how does it compare to top federations back then?
They have a lot more similarities than differences.
Yeah, I mean, with CCW, I went there a few days ago. It was pretty good. I mean, really great job. Scripting's always top notch. I wish it was more emphasis on storylines. Have a good mix between storylines and wrestling. I think that's a lost art nowadays because APRW, still the same problems with that too. But I see APRW has been doing some more storyline work nowadays, which is good.
Yeah.
But I mean, shoot. I mean, they do suffer from a lot of similarity, a lot of the same stuff. While back in the day, it was very different between feds. Every fed has its own feel.
All right.
I think like as you move forward in time, like how you run a fed is gonna be the same, but it's just a matter of what type of technology do you have to help you make the show more flashy or make it easier to run or make it more appealing to people. So, and then like Bonnie said, some feds choose to, I mean, that's always been a problem with like feds. Feds have that problem, like trying to balance out like matches and storylines and how actually entertaining the storylines are and all sorts of different tactics and methods to make their show appealing to people. So I mean, feds have had that problem for years. Yeah. So I would imagine it's going to continue into the future.
Yeah, I hope so as well. And okay, so moving on to, I think we have time for like, yeah, one more question. So this is from PDG once again. What new innovation? This is for both of you guys, by the way. What new innovation should be added into wrestling, into Raw wrestling, to make it different than the previous years?
New innovation. I mean, they can have, better intros, like animated intros. If robots can even like allow for that. To have animated intros. I guess more refinements on the current things they have now. Have like actual interviews, like have people backstage looking at the TV screen and have the match coming here in live time. Like it's a lot of cutting down stuff right now, but it just, especially from the right arm to left arm, I don't get. But
that would fuck me up.
Yeah, let's keep it traditional here. But
just leave it as it is, please.
Yeah, but I think just presentation wise, is continue improving that. But right now, it's really good presentation wise. You just gotta make it. Just got people gotta perfect how to make cohesion, how to make it picture perfect.
Yeah.
No mess ups.
I recently saw a creation. Well, not a. Yeah, sorry. Like an invention by one of the members in the community, and he made pretty much this script where the Tron, or like, yeah, the main stage Tron, it shows, the person walking on the ramp. So that's pretty cool. That looks like the first step to like more innovation.
I don't know. Maybe try different cameras, like for when you watch the match. Make it seem more like it's on TV. Like Lonnie said, it really just comes down to cosmetics. There's not really a lot that you can do to the actual like stuff that happens in the ring, because if you try and mess with that, then it becomes a whole different thing.
And people start complaining, and then just gets hectic.
Yeah, exactly. So just cosmetic stuff. I can't really think of anything off the top of my head.
So basically, all the flashy stuff, all the smoke and mirrors, like, that had nothing to do with Raw wrestling. That's what could be worked on, as well as as what Lonnie said, just refinements in general.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, yeah. So yeah, that's our last question. Thank you guys for being on today. I think you gave like really good insight on Raw wrestling, and in general, like, you brought different new ideas that people could definitely implement if they listen to this interview. So yeah, any closing statements before we wrap this up?
One last time.
Sure. Any closing statements before we wrap this up?
Closing statements. Let's see here. Closing statements. Man, Hub smells, man. Hub smells.
Wow.
That's what love, though.
Yeah. No, I don't have anything to say. You were a great host. Thank you for having us on.
For sure. It was.
And I apologize on Lonnie's behalf for asking you a million questions before the show.
Oh yeah, had to get updated.
Yeah.
AXW's cool, by the way.
AXW is very cool, by the way. Are you happy now?
Yeah. Oh, and Sean, your quarterback skills are they're up to par.
Yeah.
Good job.
All right, guys. Thank you for being on here today. Hopefully we do this again. Maybe we'll have different things to talk about in the future as well. You never know with Raw wrestling. There's like things popping up left and right.
Yeah, just let me know.
For sure. Thank you guys for being here.
Let me know. Yeah. By the way, it's a $1,000 booking fee, so I'm gonna need that money by the end of the month.
You heard it here first. $1,000 booking fee for HubHelms.
Oh, you pay the passport of the lone drip of the hurricane.
Yeah.